All right, that's it. I'm done. After today, we're done with the sugar diet. Coincidentally, over the last few days, there's been some new information that's been coming out that people are saying this thing has basically run its course, that some of the influencers who were promoting it are basically backpedaling on their whole stance on it. You know what? I don't really care. I've always said that this was an experiment for me anyway. And if you look at any of my previous videos, you also know that I knew that there was always going to be an end of this experiment and experience for me anyway. And lately, I was targeting the end of June. So it is the end of June, and we're going to be done with it. And I use it. I think today is actually day 42. So this will be the last day that I'm kind of following it. But before I get into what's next, let's just go back through the last week or so. Because from my last video, I really didn't do any kind of updates or anything like that for the last week. So over the last week or so, I basically ramped up the calories and the starch. And actually during that week, I came to the realization that I was probably not eating enough during the time that I was doing my experiment. And again, an experiment, and I was kind of toying with all kinds of different things. So I added more sugar, table sugar, which I always said I wasn't really going to do. But I found that it was easier to add table sugar and get the volume of calories that were kind of needed. So I started adding that to my juice in the morning. And then whenever I drank juice, and I was actually adding it to my coffee, which I don't normally do, but it was easy to get calories in. I ate more rice. I actually added in baked potatoes, which I actually found during my weigh-ins after I ate baked potatoes that I found that the scale either slightly went up or stayed the same. So, again, just my deductive reasoning for me, potatoes for me as a starch do different things or react differently for my body, and rice seems to be the starch that my body accepted more, probably because I grew up eating it, and so be it. So I kind of cut out or really minimized the baked potato. I don't think I've had baked potatoes. Nope, I take that back. I did have a baked potato this weekend when I went to a function. But anyway, ate baked potato, ate rice. Some of the rice, I actually went up to almost 2 cups a day. Still minimized the protein though. Still kept the protein to a minimum, except for yesterday. Yesterday, because I knew I was coming to an end of this whole thing, I was like, you know what? Let me see what really happens. So I actually had 2 kind of big meals yesterday. I wouldn't say big meals, but one with chicken and rice and corn. The other one just with tuna and rice, which was later on in the evening, just to see kind of, I guess, what it would end up doing. And surprisingly, this morning the scale stayed the same. So I don't know what to make of that, but I'm happy that it didn't actually go up. So over the last week, my weight just kind of bounced around points of a pound here, points of a pound there. I think I only actually had one day that it actually went up. Everything else was down a little bit or stayed the same. I maintained my weight under 230, which is really good for my overall 6-month kind of journey or fitness journey. I'm down, I think the most I'm down is like 31 pounds or something like that. But maintaining under that 230 mark is actually really good. And I'm actually the most proud about that. So for the last week, the scale has been under 230. Even though it's been bouncing up and down, it just never has gone back over 230, which is great. So overall, from my sugar diet experiment, the net weight lost was 6.6 pounds. Totally fine by me. I know it's not as much as other people were doing, but again, I'm totally fine by that because that is 6.5 pounds less than when I started. So that's great. 6.5 pounds, 42 days. Good for me. I still think it's a pretty good alternative to just water fasting or dry fasting. From the point of, it makes it more enjoyable. Now, will you get more benefits from dry fasting or water fasting? Probably so, because you're not actually putting anything into your body. And that's true fasting. Because you can't really say you're fasting if you're adding things into your body. That just doesn't work that way. So when we say sugar fasting, it's the sugar fasting period, but it's not really, you're not really fasting. And plenty of points have been made about that. But I do think it's a good tool. I mean, it makes it more enjoyable. And if you can actually do a fasting period and still drink, say, juice with sugar, or, you know, eat some gummies or some dried fruit or something like that, and just focus on sugar and carbs, and I'm gonna say sugar just by way of the carbs, not really sugar. But if you can do that in a fasting window and then go and eat and then do your whatever eating, whether it be 24 hours, 48 hours, 16 hours, whatever the case may be, but in that fasting window that you're still taking in carbs and sugar, and continue to let the scale trend down, great, because it makes it a whole lot better than just doing water or not taking in anything. Again, it's probably more beneficial, probably more healthy to not, but maybe it's a way to step into it. You know, for people that are like, oh, I can't do fasting that way. Okay, well, try this method of fasting. Just take a fasting window and just focus on the simple sugar or carbohydrate method. I don't know. It's an option. So what am I shifting to starting tomorrow? Interesting question. And I basically took the entire time that I was learning about sugar diet, sugar fasting, all that kind of thing, and kind of the effects that it was having on me, my body composition, all those kind of things. It took me a while to figure out what I really wanted to do. And, you know, if you go back through some of my other videos, you'll know that I kind of talked about that, trying to figure out what that plan was going to look like. So coming into this, I was a high protein, high fat, very low carb guy, right? Go all the way back. You'll know that I was like ketovore, carnivore, whatever that guy. Loved the high fat. And I mean, again, I love that way of eating because who doesn't love butter, bacon, eggs, beef, all the high fat things? But I really understand that I enjoy the carbohydrates as well. I enjoy rice. I really do enjoy rice. So I'm gonna flip to kind of a high carb, low fat, right? I'm gonna go high carb, moderate protein, and low fat. I wanna stick to the protein because, again, I am still someone who enjoys working out. I enjoy trying to build, and I do understand that protein, yes, folks, protein is necessary for muscle building. It just is, it's needed. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert, but that's something that's probably been around for a long time. If you want to build muscle, protein is your building block. That's what you need. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to maintain moderate protein intake, probably moderate to high actually, but I'm also going to do the high carb for the fuel, but I'm going to try to stay low fat. I'm thankful for this kind of sugar diet experience and experiment because it forced me to look at things from another angle, from other people's input, and from just overall different perspectives. So I really am thankful for that. I looked at it that way. And some of the info that I was able to take in and gain from the whole experience, it changed the way I look at my diet. So, and where I'm at in this stage of my life and kind of what I'm trying to accomplish. And overall, just being better metabolic health. I will say on that note that my metabolic age score is a year less than my actual age. So I'm 53, it's currently at 52. When I started this journey 6 months ago, that was up to 60. So I have been able to bring that back down, and now I guess you would say reversing it, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that's another score or metric that I am watching as it kind of says, hey, your body's in a better state, right? So you're actually going down in age metabolically, which is good. So having said all that, I'm going to try to stick to a low fat. I'm going to keep the carbs high because just from the energy perspective for workouts, and then from the muscle building perspective, we're trying to maintain muscle. No, not necessarily maintain, building. Because for maintenance, I don't think you need as much protein as we were led to believe. You know, all the things about protein, pound per body weight, you know, how many grams per body weight, ideal body weight, and all those kind of things. That's for building. I don't think you need that for maintaining. And you kind of find that out when you do this sugar diet, because the protein is so low. I think I've maintained muscle. I think I have lost fat. And again, the weight, the net loss is, you know, was somewhat minimal, but I think I had shed fat and somewhat maintained the muscle. You know, I still lost a half an inch in my waist, so I'm thankful for that. Again, I just think the body comp was better. So again, moving forward, it's going to be high carb for the energy wise. I'll probably do mornings on carbohydrates, juices. I'll probably still add sugar because I actually enjoy the energy that it gives me. I'll still do my coffee. I'm going to go back to my coffee being black because that's the way I prefer it. And then when I take in my meals, it's going to be rice with, you know, some kind of protein. And I'm going to map that all out from my macros. I'm going to try to stick to under 30 grams of fat per day. But I'm also not going to be as rigid in the sense that I can't bust that 30 grams in a day. I'm going to take an approach of looking at it maybe as a weekly number. Because I do love my wings and there's fat in those wings. So, and I do love ground beef and I do love steak. So I don't want the 30 grams on a daily number to kind of inhibit me from saying, oh, I can't have that steak, or I can't have those wings, or I can't have this, or I can't have that. I'm okay with that if I take the number as a weekly number and then say, okay, I went over it by X amount on this day, therefore my balance for the week is this number, and I've got for the remainder of the day or remainder of the week, I've got to stay under that number. So that's going to be my approach. Now, am I working it to fit me? Yes, I am working the numbers to fit me and my lifestyle. But as long as my body comp continues to change in terms of fat loss, the weight continues to trend downward, my metabolic age continues to trend downward, and all the other markers and all the other things continue to trend in a positive direction, I'm good with that. There may be people out there that don't agree. I don't care. But if you don't, I'm happy for you to leave those comments so that we can have a discussion about it. Because your journey is not the same as my journey, it's not the same as his or hers or anyone else's. Your journey is your journey, and you need to figure out through trial and error and through all those other things that we do out there, you need to figure out what works for you. So I'm senior. These are my moments. I'd love to hear yours. And yes, the little tan line thing happening here, that's what you get when you are mowing your lawn up here in North Texas and the sun is beating down on you. So, having said all that, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Do you agree, disagree? It's okay. We don't have to all agree or disagree. But I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what your journey has been. I'd love to hear whether or not you tried the sugar diet / sugar fasting. I'd love to hear what your results have been. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on my plan moving forward. Yeah, let me know. Let me hear from you. So it probably won't be the end of, my videos on, let me just say, diet. I'll probably continue to do updates on where I'm at with the rest of my diet and how it's going since then. Because I kind of started this channel during the sugar diet time. So I was able to make videos, update videos and things like that pretty frequently about that. But moving forward into the next kind of phase of it, going back to a normal-ish diet, I'll make updates on that as well. Probably start making some videos about my workouts so I can show you guys kind of what I'm doing as an early 50s kind of guy. Yeah. So I think that's it for now. And if I don't talk to you guys or see you guys, happy 4th of July, because that's coming up here at the end of the week. That should be fun. And yes, I'm gonna eat because my commitment to our 4th of July party is my ribs, which I love making and I love eating. We're gonna have a lot of brisket, probably have some tri-tip, probably do some hot dogs and stuff for the kids. Gonna have fun. I'm not sitting this one out. I'm not sitting out 4th of July. I never do. We're gonna drink. Yeah, probably. Gonna have some cigars. Yes. Gonna have a fun time celebrating our country's independence. So, who knows? Maybe I'll make a video about that all day too. Thanks for stopping in. Hit the like, subscribe, share the video. Add comments, whatever you want to do. And until the next one, I'll see you.